Hello, everybody. Welcome to back to Cure for the Common Game. I've had several requests as to make a video on how I organize the collection. Y'all seen here? Well, you've seen that wall with all the decks on it, but one wall that you don't see as much is the binder wall. It's over here, and it's gone through several iterations. Now, what I've got here is a binder for every single set. With an asterisk beside it. Like up here, I have, like these two binders are all the dual decks. It's, because those are such a small set, they don't merit their own binder. Like this is various promos, be it Magic Player Rewards or Friday Night Magic or whatever. This is all like white border reprints, beatdown, anthology, stuff like that. You know, a whole bunch of sets per one binder. But obviously the Commander product, it gets its own every year. That is Commander. How I have got it organized is I start. This is all kind of just miscellaneous binders. That's Portal. That's Zendikar Full Art Land binder. Anyway, Arch Enemy Plane Chase, Premium Decks, whatever. But two on binders. I don't have the third, the first one. But then these are like ancillary products. These are the master sets. Battle Bond, Modern Horizons, of course the promos, the two conspiracies, and the Commander. And then I come in after Commander with Alpha. All of the core sets are together. Of course, it goes through 12 there, and then picks back up over here on 13. Goes through the current 2020, and then starts with the expansions. Now, I had thought about just doing the timeline and having it just by date, you know, alpha, beta, and a limited Arabian, whatever, and just having the core sets mixed in there. And I may still yet do that, but I kind of like having the core sets all together, because that way, you know, a lot of the early core sets, heck, the first 10 of them was just reprints, you know. But anyway, so all of these, starting with Arabian Nights, all of these are expansions. And of course, it goes all the way down to, what is that? Conflux, and then starts over back on the bottom row and starts coming this way. Now, the evolution of the binder. First, let's show you exactly. We'll whip out the Eldraine binder here. Every pocket is numbered. I don't know. See, I'm very, very far away from the computer. I am probably 15, 20 feet away. So But what I do is each set. I get the binder, put the pages in. Of course, they're all Ultra Pro pages. And I individually number each pocket. That way, once I get back from the pre-release, or I'm busting my box, or whatever, it's time to sort, you can sort them really, really quickly. Because that way, I mean, every card's numbered now, and you can just slot it right in. Actually using the slick from the booster box, I thought of that like in Amonkhet, to be honest with you. Thought of it here with Amonkhet. I had done try to do some fancy stuff with some printers here, because I was under the delusions that I was going to use, only the Magic the Gathering binder, but that turned out to be a rather expensive project, and print these. There's several of those you can tell scattered throughout, but with the expansion symbol, it does help. It does help if there's somebody sorting cards for you that don't know that is planar chaos. You know, it's got planar chaos and the symbol. Plus, as a lot of times when I deck build, I use Scryfall or Gatherer, just depending on, I don't know, the mood, the day, what I'm looking for. If I need something more in depth, I'll use Scryfall. Like if I need, I need all the arts that Vraska was in. There's a spoiler alert for a deck I'm building, by the way. And it'll give me a list of all the cards. Okay, that card was in 10th edition, Time Spiral, and whatever. So that's what I use a lot. Is I'll go now. Now these pockets will hold a substantial amount of cards. I mean, yeah, they're probably made to do 2 or 3, but like Bartered Cow, what is that? There's 8 Bartered Cows in there right now, and there's comfortably room to have more. I think on average I can get 8 perfect fitted cards, or like 10 to 12 not. I say perfect fitted, pro fitted, whatever the inner sleeve, And when I do box bust and things like that, I will automatically double, or well, it's not really double sleeve if that's the only sleeves they're in, but I'll pro fit the all the mythics, the rares, the foils. I guess now we have alternates like with the storybook cards and whatever, but and if there's full art lands, obviously all the new Theros lands are going to get pro fitted, just hands down. They're gorgeous. By the way, do you think that's going to make people buy more with one of those in every pack? I don't know. I think it probably will. I think that may be better than lottery cards. I don't know. I personally love masterpieces, but that's just me. Anyway, so as each set comes out, or well, actually, as each set starts getting spoiled, or I hate that word, previewed, I went and got a binder for, it's over there way across the room now toward the computer. Got a binder for the new Theros set. So I'll get it, and sometime between now and the pre-release, I'll throw the pages in there and start numbering them. Thank goodness we can. Now, used to, the card numbers, you could look at the bottom left and you knew how many cards were in the set. That's not true anymore because we have high-numbered cards. Things like the Planeswalker decks, the Brawl decks from Eldraine were all high-numbered. The storybook cards were all high-numbered. A lot of the cards from the Super Pack, I forget it, the Collector Pack, those were high-numbered. So there was actually very, very many cards in that set. So I just number up to what I see. And then once I get that day, I may have to add some additional pages. But yeah, it is kind of to start off with, actually, Planar Chaos was the very first one I ever did. So if you think about it, all of that existed before then, and I just had like boxes. I had, a bunch of binders that just had random rares in it, and then I had a couple more binders that had like uncommons that I frequently played or was always looking for, and my goal was Planar Chaos was the very first set. See, I've gone to many, many pre-releases. Now, Future Sight was the last pre-release that was a huge one. Used to pre-releases were like one per state or one per geographic area. Here in Tennessee, it kind of alternated between Memphis or Nashville. And Future Sight was the last big one of those. Starting with the rest, every LGS could have one. So that was great for the LGS. But Planar Chaos, the reason why it was the very first set that I ever bindered by itself was I had a goal that I was going to leave the pre-release this big with an entire set. Back then, the pre-release was 2 weeks before the launch date, and these pre-releases were 400 and 500 people events. I mean, they were huge. So a lot of places would run flights of 32, and I actually left the Planar Chaos, and so in order to get ready for it, I grabbed a binder and I threw some pages in it, because back then all the big sets were the same size, all the small sets were the same size, so we just knew. And numbered it out that way. It's like, while I'm there at the pre-release, after each flight that I do, I can quickly put those cards in the binder and then go jump in another flight. And it worked. It took some trading. Took me being obscenely lucky that day. In my first flight, I pulled, I remember, in a 6-pack sealed, I pulled a playset of the Retachroma. Yeah, I called the judge. And I stuck my hand as a judge. He comes over there. He says, "We're in deck building. Why do you need to judge?" And I said, "I just wanted you to show this," because it was the very first flight. I mean, it's not like I had cards from a previous flight or anything. I was like, "I just want you to see this." And he looked at it and he went, "Wow." But anyway, so I started it there, and then I just did it through each binder after that, and started going backwards. I did this for a little while, for the set symbol, the release date, or the set graphic rather, the set symbol there at the bottom. I do kind of like that. I'll try to get close so you can see it. It's not going to work. I'm so far off the mark. But I do have boxes of like overflow. One thing that I do is, here, we'll peek behind the curtain. Oh, this is messy. I guess you can tell I'm building the deck there right now, but label maker. This is kind of not really a build box per se, but this is it started off as a cards that need to be sorted box. Cards that need to be put into the binders. However, I tend to like, it's sectioned off by what they are: white, blue, black artifacts, mana rocks, and then regular artifacts, multicolor lands, what have you. So, what it's turned into pretty much a build box, because every time I come across I come across a couple soul rings, I threw them in the mana rock slot, and cards that we use more than others, rampant gross, I run across those, I just throw them in there. Then of course I've got the handy dandy sorting tray. That helps a lot when you buy like a large quantity. I was at, take a look at this box here. I was at Q's Comics in Dexter, Missouri, and they had deals where you buy you get the box and you fill the box up, and it's like $10. Yeah, kind of sweet. It's commons, uncommons from there's like the big 4-row boxes. There was tables of them, more than I had time to go through. That's why I didn't exactly fill the box. It was just because I ran out of time that day. But those are all cards that I'm going to have to sort, and I'm going to have to work into the binders, which is a lot. I mean, just the collection management part is it's a lot, but it's also very necessary, because there have been times when I'm building a deck and I'm like, whoa, okay, I need X card. So I go to Gather and I look at it. It was printed in 4 sets. I go to the 4 binders. I'm out. I don't have any. Well, it's decision time. Do I buy the card, or do I just go on without it? And a lot of times it'll depend on what it is, what the deck's doing. I try not to outright buy as much stuff as possible, individual cards like that for decks, because if I spend, even if I only spend $5 a deck, whoa, that's a lot of $5. Now there are decks like Angus. Yeah, I probably spent way more than $5 on Angus, but a lot of times I will try to find like the deck, the Geth right there. Right now, I can't put my hands on an Animate Dead, but it appears I have a ton of Necromancy from Vision, so that's going to be my, or yes, I would probably, if I had them both, I would run them both just because the nature of what Geth does. But I use what I got for the most part. And I like that because it encourages me to find other cards, to find other uses, to not crutch on the same cards all the time. If I'm out of Animate Deads, I've been playing so long. Animate Dead was in several different sets in the early. And if I'm out of Animate Deads, in my mind, that tells me, well, I've used that card too much. Because I don't think I've ever traded any. I mean, it was an uncommon back then that we all just kind of overlooked until, here in the past, I don't know, 10 years or whatever. But that tells me I probably need to broaden my deck building horizons and try to find something a little different. Because one of the reasons why I play Commander is for a different game every time. Yeah, it's similar. Yeah, I'm still running goblins or I'm still running creatures with flying or whatever. But it ain't the same actual game, the same line of play every single game. So, I don't know. That's why I'm always on the lookout. Visions, by the way, Visions, telling you, probably one of my favorite forgotten. Weatherlight's good too, but for just forgotten cards, every now and then and those were small sets. Those were like 143 card sets. I'll just, if I get uninspired or I'm trying to find something, I'll just, if I'm not sure what direction I want to go for a particular commander, I'll go to the Visions binder and I'll be like, oh, all right, look, this is what we got. But, and also because I bought a ton of cards back then. As far as what these will hold, what these binders will hold. Now, Throne of Eldraine, let's see. I think that's 2 boxes, no problem, Will. That's a 2-inch binder. Now, some of these, like Amonkhet here, Amonkhet, that's a 3. And way down there, Scars of Mirrodin, that's a 4. That's a 4-inch binder. But it's a couple boxes will fit in there easy, no problem. Eldraine, I had a couple boxes, and I think, what was it, like 12 or 13 pre-release kits, 6 Brawl decks, a bundle, just so. I've got over in another box, I've got an overflow box. I have some Eldraine commons and uncommons. That I think it's about time for me to refill the Eldraine binder. A lot of times what I'll do is I'll fill the binder up when the set hits. And that does something for me to tell me to show me what I need. Now, several years ago, I was in the camp of I want one of everything. It's just not practical, especially nowadays when there's 7 versions of Oko. But first and foremost, I have to get all of the legends from a set, obviously, because that's the goal, to build every single legendary deck. So, and that helps me quite a bit, just leaf through and see what I'm missing. And like Dominaria, I went case deep. It takes a lot for me to go case deep. I did a case on Dominaria. I did a case on 10th edition. I think I did a case on Dark Ascension. I'll be honest with you, shouldn't have. It was Dark Ascension. It was just one of those times where it was. I had the random spare money. Dark Ascension is what was coming out, and I was like, woohoo! But hindsight, I shouldn't have done that. It was Dark Ascension. Okay, but man, I got all the memorables. I think Amonkhet I went the case deep on because, let's face it, I'm a sucker for masterpieces. I love those things. Clarification. I love them while they're in a booster product. As I recall, when they stopped doing them, they said it was because they were running out of cards to do. And you know what? They didn't need to do 40%. They run, I mean, really, 20 would have been fine. 10 would have been fine. And, you know, Tom to a theme. Like, we're going back to Theros. What if they were still doing masterpieces, what if they did all of the gods? Yeah, I know some of them are already been done, but or just the gods that haven't been masterpieced. Sure, why not? Anyway, love the masterpieces. I hate that they actually made that and then took it out to sell it individually, and part of Mythic, whatever. But anyway, different topic. So I think I've gone through everything. You know, most of our buying happens at launch time, at the release of a product. You know, whether it's the pre-release, because we can get all of our boxes and stuff in. You know, next year once we get to the Commander decks coming out with standard sets, we can get our Commander decks on pre-release as well, which is cool because little known fact that y'all may not know, a lot of people don't know, is it on CommanderRules.net, the actual governing document that the RC makes. It states that a card becomes Commander legal as of its pre-release date. I mean, we play a casual format anyway, right? But for things like my deck listing site that I use, Archidect, if in the window between the pre-release and the launch, it'll flag it as red because it's not legal. And I realize they do that because it's not just a deck listing site for Commander, it's for all formats. And that's true in every other format, so I don't know. There's probably not a way to flag it for just that format. Don't know. It's not a real big thing anyway. You wait 7 days and the red goes away because it's illegal. But that's when it's the easiest to keep up, is I'll do the pre-release, do the boxes, sort them out by color, sort them out whatever, and I'll generally wait a day or two, whatever. I do the box bust videos because, you know, I watch it. I don't watch my own, obviously, but I've watched box opening videos for years. You know, we all still do. Rudy's pretty dang entertaining when it comes to box bust, but and a lot of people are. He was the one that popped in my mind. So I do those videos, and then I give it a couple days, you know, to see if I'm, number one, if I'm going to get any more, how do I feel, what does the funds look like, you know, stuff like that. And then I'll sort it into the binder. Now, the later part, that's the hard, that's the part that, you know, it takes discipline, is when you get, you know, the random box of 600 cards, and it's from every set, and you've got to sort through everything. What does that tray got, like 30 slots? 25, 30 slots, whatever. So, anyway, open them up, put them in the binder, and then that way they're there when I go to build the deck. And that's what I need to happen because, you know, it didn't start off this way. I started off just having a box, and then I had a trade binder. And then I come up with a not for trade binder that never left the house, you know. It was just cards that I knew I was going to use eventually. And It was the, the not for trade binder. It never left this room. Well, I say this room. I've only had this house for 16 years. Obviously, I've been playing longer than that. But anyway, I don't know if that helped or not. Just using binders, I buy these wherever. Obviously, I bought these from Ultra Pro. I've been using the white ones here now because they're. I've been paying about $5 at Walmart. I hate to give my money to Walmart, but in a lot of places like this one, that's what we got. The retail establishment that I run don't sell binders. LGSs typically don't sell binders in mass like this, so that's by the binders, Ultra Pro pages, and yeah, that's a lot of pages. Granted, if you're starting a collection and you don't have much older stuff, sure, with the next set, just throw it all in one binder and just try it one time and see how easy it is. Or don't, because it'll get you hooked, and then you're going to be like, oh my gosh, every time a set comes out, I got to have a $5 binder and probably, $5 worth of pages, and that's $10 that I could be spending on, packs or whatever. Yeah, I was there too. But at some point in time, we've got to, keep it organized, got to keep it where I know where everything's at. Because what do they say? The average Magic player plays for 9 years. I've been playing for 25, so it's just collection management's a big thing. I think I've rambled a little too long. Hopefully, I've covered the topic. If there's anything you want to know and I've left out, just let me know. One brief side note: I probably will not be posting any deck videos for the rest of the year because it's just insanely busy. I mean, it's been something every single day, and it doesn't appear that it's going to let up anytime before the first of the year. Obviously, I work in retail. I run a retail establishment, and this time of year, people shop. So work is requiring a little more of my time than normal, and it'll calm down after the first of the year. So I'm still building decks, and I'll still do random videos like this throughout the year as the ideas come to me. But yeah, anything you want to see, holler at me, let me know, and I'll be glad to share what little experience I've got. But now I have the daunting task of trying to click this stop record button, and it's way over there, and I can't even see it. So we're going to hope I left the mouse in the same spot, and we will see y'all later. Did it work? Did I do it? Did I do the thing? No, I didn't do the